This is a quick recording to show you how to update the weekly celebration email or any other email I send out for that matter without necessarily having a Mad Mimi account. I went to Mad Mimi about 2 months ago because the text emails were just getting too boring, to tell you the truth. I wanted to be able to include some sort of pictures in there without them necessarily being attachments. I did this even though it makes it slightly more difficult for you to reuse the email, but so maybe not quite as cut and dry from a forwarding perspective. But I do want to show you that you can still use these weekly emails without necessarily becoming a newsletter generator yourself. Obviously, my goal is that pretty much everything we do be duplicable. So that means super easy and not reinventing the wheel. So this is just a quick tutorial on how you can update the celebration email that gets sent out and keep what you want. So basically, let's take a look at this email from a couple weeks ago. This was one that I sent out as a celebration email to all my clients, and that means, of course, you as well. I want you to be able to use this exact email and only modify particular things. So all you need to do, first of all, it kind of does depend on I'm not going to be a computer whiz on every single system, but I actually, in my mail preferences, I have changed this setting right here to basically say increase quote level. I took that off. So basically it doesn't do a funky bar or a funky indication that it's a quote from a previous email. So I took that off, and most email clients should have a setting something like that. So now all I do is basically forward this email. Obviously, you're going to want to modify a few things. You can change anything you want. I might as well just say that once and for all rather than saying it over and over again. You can change anything to say anything you want. Obviously, keep as much as you possibly can without feeling like you would need to reinvent the wheel, right? So right here, you may choose to take whatever signature that you normally have, and you may choose to just get rid of it, do no signature, or you can highlight it, copy it, not copy it, my bad, cut it, and paste it way down here at the bottom of the email. You may choose to do that, you may not, totally up to you. But what I do want to do is show that what isn't optional. That is, we want to get rid of all of this stuff right here that basically says that this is a forwarded message. But if you look at it now, it kind of looks like a regular message. Obviously, you're going to want to change anything that refers directly to me. So if you're health coach Jim Bob, then you're going to want to change that. You can change any sort of trying to think, just kind of read through everything, make sure A, it's what you would like to communicate to your clients, but B, obviously your number one thing is making sure you're looking out for anything that says something that is a direct reference to me. So far I'm not seeing any, but right about here you see something that says send me their contact information. I do this so that they can just click that link. Now in my mail client, I know that I can right click this, or I can go up to edit and say edit link. So instead of having it say send to Lisa at healthcoachshep.com, you would want to change it to jimbob@hotmail.com, whatever. Now all of a sudden that link is going to go to your email address, not to me. Ideally, I won't have too many of these things where you need to change that. But for example, obviously this one right here, we would want to change this to be your informational website. So Jim Bob at jimbob.ichooseoptimalhealth.com. That's kind of your informational non-branded website. Okay, so I'm just gonna, got rid of that. Oh my goodness, can't type. So I changed the text, but you'll notice that it still isn't a link. So I'm going to go ahead and add link, and we would just basically say jimbob.i. You can use copy and paste here if you want. And there you go. Now that's a clickable, workable link for them. The biggest thing where you're going to want to really pay attention to is obviously this type of web version forwarding, unsubscribing. That's going to all have my information in it. This has my information in it. Sure, you can manually change all this if you want, or just get rid of it. just keep deleting and getting rid of these particular things. All of these are links to my information. If you want to, you can highlight each of them. Whoops. If ever you do stuff like that, just hit undo. Okay. So you can highlight this and edit the link. If you want, honestly, to keep it super simple, nobody uses these, to tell you the truth, so just get rid of them. Here would be obviously some stuff that needs to change. One of the things you might want to do is just to kind of start type, rather than onesie twosie go through and changing different things, just start typing your own information at jimbob@hotmail.com, and just, you can decide to edit these individual things or get rid of them, just, deleting them. If you highlight over the, excuse me, it's easy for me to say, if I highlight this picture and I'm able to notice that the box is just around that, I can delete that without deleting the text. You probably don't want my picture at the bottom of it. I don't have a really snazzy way for you to change that picture necessarily, but once again, I'm trying to make this something that is very reusable for you, even if it isn't necessarily as graphically entertaining. Either way, what you're doing is way better than what we had before with just text and not having any pictures in it. So even if you can't replace every picture with one that makes sense, at least you're cruising along. Getting connected on our Facebook group, that is something you can leave in there if you want, because that's the same link to all of our group Facebook group. You'd want to change this, since that is referencing my website, my ordering website. So you would want to change that to yours. So for example, edit, and you would put jimbob.tsfl.com. Okay. That now would have them log into your TSFL account. So I hope you can see kind of just the general trend here. I'm not sure I like this signature being down here at the bottom. It looks a little bit funny, but you know what? You can decide on what to leave there at the bottom, what not to leave. The only other thing I'd say is, if you do have something in particular you want to add, there's something very specific or whatever the case may be, you can choose to add it to any of these different text boxes. You can add it somewhere down here at the bottom. You could, for example, right here. And now what I really want to add, I don't know, whatever. And change the fonts so that it looks like another header or something like that. Make it a different color. I don't know what. They're red. And you can add certain things that you want to. This is the part that I'm going to tell you to be really careful at. Really, first of all, hardly anyone gets to the bottom of the emails. But just in general, no, unless it's something super important, don't try to perfect this email. Just more than anything, get it out. Oh, and obviously, this is where you would use your address book. And I have this TSFL client sample group. Obviously, I have more clients than that, but whoops, didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. So basically, you would just grab this, send email to TSFL clients. I would grab all these by highlighting them or clicking on it and doing select all. Copy those and go back, kind of just alt-tab back to this email that you were creating, and put them in the blind copy line. You want them in the BCC, not in the CC or 2, so that nobody knows who all is getting the emails. And you're going to go ahead and paste those addresses there and send this out. So hopefully that's helpful on how to use the Mad Mimi emails, or even just the formatted emails that I send out, without necessarily feeling like you have to get into the Mad Mimi account and start creating your own newsletters. Let me know if you have any questions.